Gold Rush. Tony Beets gets Indian River license for Gold Rush Season 14. The miners of gold are preparing for another Gold Rushes season, is scheduled to premiere on September 29th, Friday, September 14th. The season Tony, the king of the Klondike, defeats fixing his sights on a daring goal. He's resolved to surpass his earlier 5,300-ounce gold haul record that had a startling $9 million worth. Money. He's setting his sights much higher this time, aiming for 6,000 ounces. Thus, how in the world does Tony plan to exceed the previous year's gold target? In light of Tony Beets' current situation, one may question whether the Gold Rush operation, his water license for Indian River, has been revived. Well, the response is really simple. The news statement states that Tony is heading back towards Indian River, where he has multiple extremely sought-after assertions. It has been some time since we've seen the dredges working. Although if I remember accurately, their most recent operation was on the River Indian. This implies that in the future season, we might see the reappearance of the dredges, which are anticipated to act as the force behind Tony's ascent to a bold 6,000-ounce goal. That's the thrilling aspect. Nonetheless, a possible roadblock appears when one of his kids makes a decision not to come back, endangering the whole scheme following years of conflict with the Indian problem with river water permits. Tony Beets was able to fix it during Season 14. Tony Beets has experience taking perils when he states it plainly. The mining sector is basically an enormous gamble. It is an endeavor that should produce similarly enormous earnings, but yet it's still a risk. Via the eyes of watchers of Gold Rush, acquire understanding of the inner workings of this lucrative sector. For example, during Season 12, the Klondike's the king in charge. Tony Beets muses, utilizing his whole 40-year mining profession on a risky project with the objective of gathering 9,000 oz of gold, which is equal to an astounding 16 worth $1 million. How then did Beets become ready for this monumental project? The Beets family strategy aimed to greatly increase their stockpile of apparatus in the last few seasons. In his recognizable straightforward manner, style surpasses comments this time. Everything is more expansive. Additional grader trucks, just a bit extra machinery. Tony invested with such modesty that it was clear more than $5 million was spent on buying new equipment to guarantee 24-hour workings at Paradise Hill Mine in the midst of Season 12. Observant spectators excitedly await the disclosure of Tony's water beet ratio license renewal was accomplished with success. However, what backup plans could Tony and his Gold Rush group establish if the issue is still open? In his normally direct style, Tony states it clearly, saying, "Well, I'll explain it to you. If we wind up using just 50% of the land, we'll to modify our objectives in light of you get what I mean. It's an easy method. Therefore, the hope remains focused on obtaining the permit. Although Tony isn't renowned for sharing his private financial information, that should not be shocking to any Gold Rush supporters. He won't abandon the fate of the Indian River authorization to take any extended when playing the waiting game and the massive gamble." Tony says, "We're crossing our fingers in hopes that it will transpire, and even if it does, I don't see any problems, but if things don't pan out the way I stated, that we will need to make some essential modifications.